You wouldn't build a house without a foundation, so why try to build a business without one? Grow your contracting business and grow your mind with Growth Mindset Monday.
All right. Welcome back to the show. We're glad that you're here with us, sharing this beautiful Monday morning with Contractor Plus and the American Contractor Network. If you are here joining us live, you know what to do. Go ahead and drop your name, your business name, and where it is you're from so we can give you a shout out. We got some early participants in here. We got Ground Fog saying what's up. We got John McBride with John McBride GC out of Black Tree, Virginia. We've got the Irving Corporation from Richmond, Texas. Daniel with Noble Custom Glass and Mirror, Buford, Georgia. Barry Pittman with Magnolia Air and Electric, Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Welcome to the show. Man, what a crazy week it was for me last week, right? We moved, and I will tell you that I never want to move again. I told my wife this. I never want to move again. That was nothing short of a train wreck, right? Now, it had a little to do with the actual boxing of the stuff and the arguments whether what you're going to keep this or you're going to get rid of that, which we've all experienced. It really had more to do with the experience of buying a home, right? I will tell you that the mortgage company that we use, we got recommended by our realtor. And our realtor, we love him. Great guy. The mortgage company I will never use again. And I won't use her name here because it's irrelevant here. But what I will tell you is we got pre-approved to make sure that we had all our documentation, all our paperwork, all everything, or so we thought. And it turned into, for the next 30 days, every single day, can you send me this document? Can you get this thing notarized? Can you have this person write a letter? Can you send me this bank account? Can you? And it drove us absolutely crazy. Not only did we not close on time, it was a day late, but not only did we not close on time, then we had to turn around and 2 days prior, really start to explore options other than moving because we really felt it wasn't going to happen. Now, there's a couple of reasons why, and I'll get into that today for our topic of conversation, but we've had some more folks that have chimed in here. We got BMF Services out of Michigan, Chad Cranville from Southeast Indiana, Oscar Sanchez, Texas Top Tier Construction, William Ferris, William F, Northeast Service Mechanical, and Irvin was chiming in saying, yeah, long process, 6 months. Yeah, man, I feel for you, bro. It's crazy. Well, last week that was going on, but then there were also some other things happening, right? We're in the process of securing some office space here. I have an office right now, but I end up sharing an office, or they should say the office space, with some other folks. We're going to get our own. We're going to be able to run some big workshops and trainings. Love to share that with you guys when that comes online, which should be here by October 1st, which we're really excited about. But I bring up this mortgage company and really this loan officer for a reason. Because this week, more than anything, the number one question that I've got through text message, through email, through DM has been, how do I generate more leads? Now, you've heard me talk about this before. That leads to the lifeblood of any business. I don't care if you're a flower shop, if you're a doctor's office, if you're an electrician or any type of contractor, leads to the lifeblood of your business. And if leads are the lifeblood of your business, why is it that we're not spending as much time as we should be handling the leads? Let me give you a perfect example. This week, we were supposed to close on Tuesday, right? and didn't happen until Wednesday. Well, I had rearranged my schedule to have Tuesday free to move so that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I could run or resume business as usual. And of course, that didn't happen. So I had a lot of free time on Tuesday, right? Now, I was getting these messages, and they've been coming pretty frequently about that particular thing that I was just mentioning to you, which is leads. And I was like, you know what? I want to try an experiment. I want to try to see what the real issue is. Is leads the real issue, or is it something else? Now, some of you guys aren't going to like this, but here we go, right? 6 different companies. I picked 6 different companies. I went to Google and I picked 6 different companies, right? They range from concrete to drywall, painting, electrician, roofer. I forgot what the 6th one was. 6 different companies, right? Now, all of these 6 different companies, in some way, shape, or form, had messaged in either me directly or in one of these groups that I'm a part of online, these big Facebook groups that I'm a part of. They had messaged, hey, we're open for business. We're, this is what we do, that kind of thing. So they were actively advertising or looking for leads, right? And so I said, okay, I'm gonna reach out to these guys. And so I didn't have their numbers, but pretty easy through Google. I got their phone numbers and I gave them a call, right? Here's the data. Here's the facts. 5 out of the 6 didn't answer the phone. It went to voicemail. 5 out of the 6. Now, mind you, this was during business hours. This was not after hours. This wasn't on the weekend. This was during business hours. Called. 5 out of the 6 went to voicemail. Okay. Now, one of them called back 15 minutes later. And I talked to him for a minute and obviously said we were moving and, we might be looking for some services. And it was a short conversation because they didn't ask any qualifying questions. They didn't ask me anything about what specifically I was looking for. They said, hey, when can we come by and look at it? That's what they said. And I said, I'll call you back. Okay. One called back on Wednesday, the same day that we were closing, right? This guy said, got your voicemail, wanted to follow up. I said, hey, I'm in the middle of closing. Can you call back tomorrow? He said, yes. Never called back, which would be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now we're back on Monday. 3 never called back. Never called back. 1 answered, okay? But the one that answered sounded like he was completely distracted by something. I mean, you could hear kids screaming in the background. He was just trying to get like basic information. Give me your name, address, what kind of work you're looking for. We'll get back to you. Right? So think about this for a minute. You're a business owner and you say you want to grow your business, but when it comes to doing the basics of running a business, you're too busy or too distracted or insert whatever reason that you're not answering phones, following up with your leads, and actually getting out there to do estimates and close deals. Now, the real question is, which one of those people are you? And I'd love to hear from you in the chat. We got a couple more folks that have joined in. Angelo Morel Premium Renovations out of Ohio. Welcome to the show. We got Ryan McEntee, Key West Remodeling out of Orlando. Welcome. I want you guys to drop this in the chat. If you're willing to, which at this point, you should be. I mean, if you want to grow your business, you're here for a reason. Sure, I can pat you on the back, make you feel all warm and fuzzy, but the real reason you're here is because you want to grow your business. So answer this question. When someone calls, what happens? 1, does every call get answered? So go ahead and drop that. If that's you, every call gets answered. 2, some of the call gets answered or calls get answered. Not all of them, but some of them. Or 3, you're lucky if you answer the phone and you just wait for them to leave a voicemail and then you might call them back. Which one of those 3 describes you? You answer all the calls, you answer some of them, or you really just wait for them to leave a voicemail, and if you're lucky, you call them back. Which one of those 3 are you? We got Handy Volt LLC out of Arizona. Welcome to the show. Now, I want you to be conscious about this, and really, you should be willing to throw this in here because we're not going to help you if you're not willing to talk about what's really going on, okay? We've got Barry that says, not going to lie, most get answered, but some don't. Okay, fair enough. Ryan McAtee also said most of my calls get answered. Irving Enterprise, I have an AI that answers my call. Great. We're going to talk about that. So hopefully you can share a little bit more of that. Joshua says, I have to be honest too. Some of them get answered, right? We got Rhino Builders out of Minneapolis. Welcome to the show. Listen, this is what I want you to see, right? More than anything in business, it's the mirror check, right? The mirror check. Now, what is the mirror check? We got BMF service says some get answered, but hard because of all the BS calls. Totally get it. We're not going to talk about BS calls right now, but we got to understand this process, right? And I call it the mirror check. If you stood in front of the mirror and you asked yourself this question, hey, do all the calls get answered? What are you going to do? Lie to yourself? Like you're staring at yourself, right? Maybe that's the case for you. They do all get answered. Chad just said, hey, every call gets answered. C&K Beachside Remodeling, I answer all calls unless I'm with a customer. My husband's on a job site with a crew, so he's not cutting people short. Great. Daniel says, short answer, because I'm driving. We miss a lot of opportunities because we are too busy with repeat customers' accounts. We do not do any advertising. Fair enough, right? You got a little bit of a different problem, Daniel, which we should probably talk about at some point. But here's the point, okay? People are calling you for a reason. You either advertised or someone recommended you, or you met someone at a get-together or through a mutual friend. Like, people are calling you for a reason. And it's not because they want to compliment you on the brand new Jordans you're wearing or the really cool logo that they saw on the side of your truck. No, they're calling you for a reason. You have a business line that leads them to a business that offers a product or service that they want. And if you're not answering the phone, guess what they're not doing? They're not waiting around for you. If you Google drywall in your area or electrician or remodeler, there are hundreds of options for them. Hundreds. And if you don't answer, the odds are that they're not going to wait around. Right? Now, if you're answering all the calls, awesome. I want to hear how you're doing that. Do you have an answering service? Do you use AI? Is it your spouse? Do you have that thing glued to your hip and you interrupt everyone and you answer the phone? Like, how is it that you're answering that? Because I want you to share with the other people on the call that are struggling with this right now. Now, if you're not answering all your calls, ask yourself why. Now, for some of you, you're going to say, hey, I'm on the job, or I'm doing bids and estimates, or I don't carry my phone with me when I'm up on a ladder, whatever the thing is. Okay. There's calls that are falling through the cracks, but you need to figure out why. Why are they falling through the cracks? And ultimately, what can you do about them? Okay. Now, I'm going to start throwing out some stuff. I'm not going to recommend one particular thing because we don't have any relationship with any one particular person or entity or business. These are just options that you can consider. Okay. The first thing is you hire someone to answer the phones, and they don't do anything other than answer the phones, which means they could be at home. They could be abroad. They could be your sister, your cousin, a virtual assistant. You can hire somebody for $10 an hour to just answer calls. Fair? Okay. Now, you can also have a call center. There's call centers abroad. There's call centers, in the Philippines and Mexico and, different countries that you can hire. And those call centers will answer your calls. Now, depending on how much you pay, you're going to get one of a few different options. Option number one is they just take a message. Okay. Option number two is they close them and they put them on your calendar. Let me take that back. They don't close them. They ask qualifying questions and they put them on your calendar, right? Option number three is they pre-qualify at a much deeper level, especially if you have a higher ticket item, like say you're a builder or remodeler and your average price is 75 to 100K. You're probably going to want to ask more questions on the front end, right, to get that taken care of. So the point is that you can spend, and you're going to have to spend a little bit of money to invest in making sure that when the phone rings, you pick it up. Right? That's the point. Now, some of you are spouses. You work with your husband or you work with your wife. We got C&K Beachside Remodeling says, I work in office and have an assistant as well, which helps Chris stay out on jobs so he isn't mixing getting work done and trying to land work. My job is all office work, setting estimates up, and taking calls, along with making sure everything is in line or lined up for that day. Beautiful. Clear roles and responsibilities. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Right? That's what we teach on the back end of things. So understand that in order to grow your business, you have to invest in your business. When you start out, it's going to be you answering the phone. Now, you might be able to leverage some AI. Irving Enterprise says, I honestly use Good Call and Zipper with my Google account and attach it to Slack and Trello. Without getting into many more details, Irving, well done. I'd love to talk with you about that because there's not a lot of people who understand, first of all those 4 different programs. So beautiful thing, right? But some of you understand technology and you can leverage technology. There are services that through AI, they can answer and schedule appointments for you. Yes, there are. I'm not going to recommend any of them because I don't know them that well anyway, but I'm not going to recommend any, but they do exist, right? You can have a real person. You can have AI. You can have somebody in the office. You can have somebody at home. You can have somebody abroad. The point is there should be somebody answering your phone all the time. Now, if your phone isn't ringing all the time, when it does ring, you should be the one that's answering. I don't care if you're in an appointment, if you're on a roof, if you're driving, if you're in church, whatever. It's your business. If you want it to grow, you have to answer it. Now, you'll get to the point where you can start to leverage some of these other products or services. But the point is the point. You're determining the how. Remember, businesses all function the same. You're a builder, you're a remodeler, you're drywall, your landscape, your excavation, they all function the same. They all need to do some type of marketing to generate leads, which could be as simple as shaking hands and kissing babies. It could be you're doing Facebook ads, pay-per-click, billboards, magazines, mailers, knocking doors. You're generating leads, okay? From the generation of the leads, there's some type of interest. That's the most important gap, and that's where people fail, is taking that interest and turning it into something tangible. Are there BS calls? Sure. Are there spam calls? Absolutely. You're going to get them, but you got to go through those to get the good ones. Justin and I, we have a fun couple stories about staying up late and answering the phone and interesting people who express interest in certain products or services, which I will share with you guys here at the end of this conversation today. But I'll tell you, it's just a game, right? Like, do we want our phone to only ring with qualified leads? Here, I have $100,000. I don't know how much this job's going to cost, but just tell me how much and I'll pay you. Yeah, we'd all love that, but that's not the way it works. You got to work for your money. Congratulations. Welcome to America, land of the free, home of the brave. Leads, right, to appointments, the most important gap. And so if right now you're struggling with that, figure out 1, why you're struggling with it. And then 2, what it is that you're going to do about it. Okay. So if you are struggling right now with answering your phone and turning those leads into appointments, I want you to drop something in the chat. Make it a me, make it a hand raise, make it a something. Right. And now I'm going to pick on, in a good way, C&K Beachside, which I don't have your name yet. And then Irving Enterprise. I may have missed your name, but I'm going to pick on you guys because you guys are definitely the most active. And you are the 2 right now that are saying, hey, we're getting these calls answered. So Irving, until I get your name, tell me what it was that made you consider using technology, AI, if you will, and some of these other platforms. What made you consider using AI to make sure that you weren't missing any calls? Kelsey, thank you for dropping your name. What about you? What was it that changed to where you finally told your husband, hey, give me the phone, go out there and do the jobs. Let me make sure that we're not missing any calls. What was the thing that made you want to change? Because everybody has a different point in their business when that happens, right? Like right now, I have my assistant that answers my phone. It's the best thing ever because I only talk to people that I want to talk to. I have a business line and I have my personal line. And there's very few people that have my personal line. And the rest of them have the business line. Now, do I have the option to answer the business line? Sure, I do. I could answer it at any time, or I could not, right? Which I choose not to. Why? Because right now in my life, it's a waste of time for me to answer the phone on an initial phone call. Always. Why? My time is worth too much to be spending time on a $10 an hour task. Right? So let's see. We got Ryan here that says, one of my biggest problems are not answering, but keeping track of who called to follow up and make that appointment. Oh, that's a good one too, my man. So when we look at that, we're talking about a CRM. Okay. How am I keeping track of those leads? Let's not open up Pandora's box. Ryan, I do want to talk about that, but we'll probably save that for next week. Okay. But the thing is that when they call, you want to dump them into a CRM. Now, lucky for you, Contractor Plus has the ability to help you do that, right? When someone calls, you immediately log in, you immediately input their information. They are now a lead. Okay. Now you can do something with them. Whereas before you're trying to remember what their name was and why they called. All right. Irving says, due to many spammers, and I have actually, where does it say? There we go. Missed the chat that moved up the screen here. Due to many spammers, and I have actually worked for someone else, and the AI is $60 a month. There you go. $60 a month. Totally worth it. Very cool. Kelsey says, we both feel it's extremely important to create a relationship with each other, with each and every customer, make sure they're comfortable with every step of the remodeling process. And if Chris was taking those calls while trying to work, he is not able to build that relationship. So we knew as soon as we started our business in Florida that we needed to separate that out. Wow. That's a beautiful, beautiful statement there. And you're right. You guys realized quickly that needed to happen. And Kelsey, thank you for bringing that up, which is relationships are what matters. Relationships. They may call you and not know you from your next door neighbor or the clerk at the supermarket, but they're calling you for a reason, right? They want to trust you. They want to like you. They want to do work with you. And your job is to build that relationship. So beautiful. You separated out because you realized building a relationship was the most important part of that process. Great. Back to Irving, and I apologize, you guys were going back and forth. It's just as the messages are coming in. Back to Irving, he says, talking about the AI, he says, and it filters and records all the calls and automatically sends me text messages and also automatically puts in the scheduled leads and all their info. Beautiful, right? So he's got something that works for him. Now, I don't want to get you guys confused. I don't want you to get you guys stressed out. This is what I want you to maintain your focus on. Leads are the first part of the game, but converting those leads are the most important part of the game. Okay. So we have to turn those leads into estimates. You'll never be able to send out a proposal, a bid, an estimate, go and sit down in someone's house, show them the potential of their roof or their paint job or their landscaping if you don't spend time taking those initial leads and then converting them into estimates. Okay. So right now, if you're not doing anything, do something. You can build out a Google sheet, a Microsoft Excel sheet that has name, address, phone number, email, why they called. That's it. 5 things. Super simple, right? You can jump into Contractor Plus and you can input all of that information in there and more, right? You can use AI like Irving is, right? And that AI helps you filter all this stuff. The point is you need to do something. I will tell you of all the options on the board, long-term, the one that makes the most sense for you, especially if you're not tech savvy, is to leverage Contractor Plus. Period. Shameless plug. And Kelsey, thank you for backing me up. Contractor Plus had all that. That's why we love it, right? We want to make building and running your business as easy as possible. That's why this community exists, right? Now, let me go back. Why was I frustrated this last week? I was frustrated because my mortgage company or my loan officer for the mortgage company was horrible at communicating. Horrible. And I never want to experience that again. I won't recommend him and I'll never use him again. What's your experience like? When they first reach out to you, do they get the voicemail that just says leave a message? Do they get somebody that answers, but they're distracted and you can hear a bunch of noise in the background? Do they get somebody that's a real person like Kelsey is willing to have that conversation, spend a few extra minutes getting to know them and really see if there's something there or not. Or do you leverage AI like Irving, which can accomplish the same thing? The point is, if you're not doing anything, do something. Okay. If you're doing something, be willing to at least every quarter go back and look at how you're doing it and say, okay, what am I doing right now? And what can I do to improve the thing that I'm doing right now? This is a game of improvement. It's a game of levels. You're going to have to go through every level. I wish it wasn't that way. It is. But I'm going to tell you that if the phone is ringing and you're not answering, that's the first problem that you got to solve. All right. Before we wrap it up today, I did want to share something special with you guys. Contractor Plus right now is going through a round of fundraising, right? If you don't know what fundraising is, it's exactly what it sounds like. They're raising money so they can continue to build and grow the platform. So up to date, they've raised $530,000, which is a significant amount of money, right? But here's the but part, right? They only have 4 days left to continue to raise money. Now, what does this mean to you? This means that you can invest in Contractor Plus. That's right. Like you would invest in any other platform, stock, bond, whatnot. You can invest in the growth of Contractor Plus at the current valuation, right? And I forgot what the current valuation is, Justin. If you want to share that with me really quick, I'll share it with the guys and gals. But you can invest in Contractor Plus at the current valuation. Now, here's what happens after August 9th, 4 days from now. 4 days from now, it's going to close. So you can't invest anymore. And if you want to become a stakeholder, you're going to have to wait till the next time that they have a fundraising round. And that fundraising round is going to be at a valuation of 30 to 40 million. So currently, Contractor Plus is valued at $8.1 million. 8.1 million. If you wait until after August 9th, the next round is going to be at a valuation of 30 to 40 million, which means your money isn't going to be worth as much as it would be now. So if you want to invest, this is something you can do before August 9th. Where do we invest? It's a great question. You go to wefunder.com/contractor. It's right there on the screen. And you can invest $1, $100, $10,000, $100,000. Choice is yours. But that is where you would go to invest. Again, the community investment round closes August 9th. We would love to have you guys on as partners as we continue to grow Contractor Plus and this community. All right. You guys know what time it is. Time to pick up the damn phone and call the damn leads. Or just get out.